Good morning, you all. Welcome back to Soldier Farms. Today we're in the shop and we're going to continue with part 4 of our long mill assembly. We are moving on to the X and Y axis. I believe today is the Y axis. Yesterday, as you may or may not remember, we completed our XZ axis. I'm going to put this down and I'm going to turn the camera around to the bench and we're going to get started. Hey you all, here's what we need for our assembly. We need our gantry plates. We need 8 of our V-wheel assemblies. That's 4 for each side. We need 4 of these little eccentric nuts. That's 2 for each side. And we need 4 of these little nylock nuts. That's 2 for each side. I'm going to go ahead and read through our step and I will get right back with you. Alright, our first step is going to be to face these in the proper direction so that we mount our V-wheels from the proper side. And we're just going to take this and we're going to insert this V-wheel assembly in these bottom holes, and then we are going to put those on with the nylock nut. And I'm going to start all 4 of these and then I am going to crank them down after that. And these, you want to make sure that you get them tight. There are guides in the instructions that tell you what you can tighten down ahead of time and what you need to wait until the machine is together. So there are those 2. And since I separated them, let's keep them in their own piles. Stand up there. This, again, this is not hard, but it's fiddly. And if you are not a patient person, this part will drive you up a wall. Ask me how I know. I'm not notoriously a patient person. Alright, and just like we did before, we're going to use our little multi-tool and we're going to hold down. We're just going to put it there like that so we can hold it, and then we're going to use our little wrench. We're going to use the speedy end to crank it down, and then we're going to use the regular end to make sure we're tight. And that's tight enough. Alright, we're moving to the other side, same maneuver. Yeah, make sure you have the Allen key seated in there. You don't want to go tearing out the head of your bolt. Alright, that side is done. Moving over here, same maneuver. Just put that guy right on the nut and hold it. And then use the speed wrench end to tighten it down. And then make sure it's tight with the opposite end. And this is our last one. We're going to fit our wrench on there just like so. And then we're going to hold it and give it a spin. All right. Lay the wrench aside. All right, that is that step complete. I'm going to go and check out our next step. This step is a watch, rinse, and repeat of what we did in the last step. We put our other set of V-wheels on, but on these, we're going to use our eccentric nut. And I was just verifying the direction in which the hex side needs to go out and the rounded side will be drawn into the hole. So these will take us a little bit longer because I'm gonna go ahead and run those in by hand, and then we'll come back with the wrench. We're gonna take our wrench, same maneuver as last time, same size as last time, and we are just gonna and these you don't make those tight. You just run them in and make them snug, and that I am sure is so that when you do final assembly, then that is an element of adjustability. All right, so this side we just wash, rinse, and repeat. All right, that step complete. I'm going to read our next step. Alrighty, for this step we are attaching our anti-backlash nut, the nut block as it was termed in the previous instructions. So what we're going to do is for each one we need two 25mm M5 bolts, and we'll just be running these in and snugging them with our speed wrench. We will not be tightening them down and there are two holes here in this plate between these four V-wheels, and the idea is that it doesn't appear to matter, so and in matching what they did in the instructions as closely as I could, I oriented this so that these little spring adjustments would be available from the front of the machine, because it seems to me it would be less difficult to adjust if it was facing forward. Alright, and we're just using our speed wrench and we're going to run those in. Alright, there we go. That side done. So it's gonna, this plate will face that way, the anti-backlash, so this will be the right hand side, and this will be the left hand side. Alright, so make sure that our block faces opposite so that when it's on the machine it will be oriented correctly. This step is done. I am going to go ahead and take a look at our next step. Alrighty, in this step, we are going to attach our inner feet to the Y-axis rails, and to do that we need 4 M5 bolts and 4 of these T-nuts. So let's lay out our hardware, and then I need to pause and bring my dog in, and I'll get right back with you. Now let me tell you about this before I stop. This foot is going to go, you're going to sub-assemble this bolt into the foot like so. Foot faces in, and then you're going to start this T-nut because it's going to go in this slot, and you want to make sure that you have the T-nut facing in the proper direction so that the flat face of the T-nut will start into that channel. Otherwise, you will not like yourself very much, because that is a very fiddly step. You're going to want it to look like that. And then you're going to take this foot and bring it right down there. And then you're going to coach, encourage, possibly swear at that, because it is very fiddly. And like now, I added in one turn too many, and it decided to fight with me a little bit, but we're not. We're just going to turn it out a little bit more. But you don't want a situation where you got to fish for that thing and get it to be still while you're trying to screw it in. And I'm showing you this because yes, it is very fiddly. And this is the part where you're just gonna have to there. And then from there, once you get it, just run that in a little bit, because you're gonna want to move this because you want these to be spaced roughly at thirds of the rail. Well, the rail is 39 inches, so we want one about 13 inches, and we want one about 26 inches. And then there will be legs, these guys, at the ends. So I'll just go and put this one in place. And it doesn't have to be perfect, and I would not suggest tightening it down hard. I would snug it, and then when it's assembly time, it'll be easy enough to tighten that. Alright, I'm gonna go and take care of a couple things. I'll be right back. Alrighty, here we are. Let's continue with our assembly. because everything left-handed is more fiddly for me. Alrighty, so that is, let's see if they stand up on their own. Well, I'll be darned, look at that. So, even at this point, our machine is vertical. So, that's a relief. Alright, I am going to step over to the computer and get our next step, and we'll see where we go from here. Alrighty, so the next step, I'll angle you down here. Our next step, we are going to go ahead and fully tighten these feet. And then there's an intermission where from now forward they're only going to show the steps for the right hand portion of the machine, or for the right y-axis, and then as you go along you complete the step for the left side also. So it gets complicated from here, so I'm going to go ahead and call this video. Alright, have a great day. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in part 5.